Hey everyone, Status here. Today I received a request, actually it was yesterday, but either way I received a request for how to install Windows 7. As many of you may know, they released the pre-beta a little while ago. I'm not sure if you can still download it from the site. I think they may have closed that now. But if you've watched my tutorial on torrents, then you know that there's still a chance for you. I downloaded it straight from the Microsoft site when they still had the pre-beta up. Should be the same thing if it's a trusty torrent. But let me just show you where it is. I have it in my downloads folder under my E drive, so I have to actually navigate there, which is joyous. Downloads, and for me it's the one with a bunch of numbers right here. So what I'm going to do, actually it's already here because I was trying to figure something out, is I'm going to just mount it in daemon tools, like that. Here, I'll show you how to do that again, even though I do have a tutorial on that also. Tend to have a tutorial on everything. Just navigate to wherever it is. Here we go. Just double click it and it'll be like this. There are several methods of installing Windows 7. Probably one of the easier methods would be if you were to actually like burn it to a disk and then just turn off your computer and turn it back on and put it in the disk and tell it to boot from there. But one thing that I should probably show you before I show you this, is just go to my computer, right click on it and go to manage. Where'd that go? Right there. I didn't do this. It's not necessary, but it is a good idea for if you want to be able to delete it later. Go to disk management. It should take it a while to load because it has to load all your drive data. This is basically just, it'll take your hard drive and it'll split it into a portion. So let me just show you. If you wanted to make your E drive, if you wanted to put it on here, you would just right click on it, press shrink volume. It will query the volume available. For Windows 7, I'm not sure how large of a file size it is. It's usually a good idea that if you're going to be installing an operating system, give it 10 gigs of data, I'd say. So right now this shows me the total size that I have left on it. That's 465 gigs, I think. I'm pretty bad with that. But just shrink it down to about 10,000. That's 10,000, right? And just press shrink. I'm not going to do it right now, but it'll take it a while, and then it should make another one right over here where it'll look kind of like this, I'm guessing. I already did this before. It says unallocated. Make sure it's unallocated so that we can install stuff there. And just like that, it's basically like the E drive has two different portions. So once you do that, just mount it or do whatever. I'm just going to be showing you how to do it right here. If you were to burn it to a disk and put it in your drive while you're still running Vista, it would work. This is what it would look like. So we're just going to press Run Setup. Install now. I'm not going to be able to go through the whole thing because I already have Windows 7 installed. I'm not going to install 2 copies of Windows 7 on one computer. That'd be a little weird. Looks very similar to installing Vista for the first time, actually, but it's a bit different. With Windows 7, you can do this with any operating system, as I probably should mention. It doesn't need to be Windows 7. Most operating systems are like this. I'd recommend that you go online to get the latest updates, because then that way it can update Windows 7 whenever they release new patches and whatever. Choose whichever one you want. I'm going to press this one. It'll search for updates already if you're connected to the internet. Kind of hard to do it if you're not. And as I was saying about Linux, it's very easy because if you, at least with Ubuntu, because that's the one that I use, all you have to do is you just put it in the drive when you're still in your default operating system, and it will just install it like it would install a program, and then when you turn off your computer and turn it back on, it'll give you the option to boot into Linux. Very convenient. Also with Linux, another nice thing is that if your computer's turned off and you put it in, and then you turn it on and you put the disk in the drive, it'll give you an option to install it from there, and you don't even have to completely install the operating system. You can just start out just by previewing the operating system. It's pretty cool how it's able to run the operating system off the disk. You don't need to install it on your computer or anything, and you can just try it out. But now I'm talking about Linux, and I'm focusing on Windows 7, so it's getting a bit confusing. Might take it a while for it to load all this stuff because it is pretty well compressed. Agree to the license and terms and all that good stuff. For the type of installation, it depends on, if you know what you're talking about, don't pay attention to this part. I'm just going to try to explain this. Upgrading is, if you're going to dual boot, do a custom. If you're going to just upgrade, like if right now you have Windows XP or Windows Vista and you want to only use 7, press upgrade. It'll completely delete your current operating system and it'll install Windows 7 over that. I go to custom, which will install a new copy, and this will show you all your partitions right here. This is where you could install it. For me, for some reason, the partition that I made isn't existing right now, but basically you got to choose which hard drive you want to install it on. If I have 2 hard drives, most likely most of you only have 1, I'm guessing. I don't know, it depends on who watches this. So I would just press E drive because that's where I'd install it. Press next. It contains files from, if you do only have 1 hard drive or it already has Windows on it, it'll tell you that it contains files from a previous Windows, and if you were to continue with this from now on, it'll move all your files that you currently have into a new folder known as Windows Old. I'll show you what that looks like, and all the program files will still be accessible, but it'll move it to a folder, and it's kind of annoying. I'm not going to go any further with the installation. It's pretty basic. You just need to let it sit up and continue to install. I think it might give you another screen or 2 after this. It's a very basic setup. If you know how to read, you can do it. It might have to shut down a few times. It might restart the computer. I think it does it 3, maybe 4 times. But that's basically it for that. I'm not going to go any further because I already do have Windows 7, so I'm just going to quit. Okay, will not be saved. Very good. And now just to show you, because I already had, I can't remember what I had. I already had another version of Windows already installed over here on my E drive, and so when I installed Windows 7, it moved all the Windows 7 drives into this Windows folder, all the stuff that you would normally see. But then all my files from old Windows, even though I transferred them over, it keeps them. I deleted most of them, but it will move your program files over, and you can still access them if they're supported by the new operating system. So maybe if you had a video game there, you can run it straight from the new folder. There are some things that won't work, and you'll have to delete them and reinstall them, but it's pretty convenient how you can do that. And that's dual booting an operating system, which for those of you who don't know, dual booting is better in my opinion because it means that it gives you the choice. Right now I'm dual booting Windows 7, actually I'm triple booting. I'm doing Windows 7, Linux, and Vista, which means that when I turn on my computer, I would show you this, but I can't screen capture when I'm not on the operating system and I don't have a video camera. It'll give you an option to boot into Windows 7, Windows Vista, Linux. You can just use the arrow keys and press enter to choose which one you want to enter into. But if you do have a small hard drive, a lot of laptops do, just do a new install. I can't remember what it was, but the first option, the one that I didn't do, it was upgrade Windows or something like that, and that'll just give you a completely new copy, and it'll be one operating system. Don't do it with Windows 7 yet. I would not recommend that because Windows 7 is still pre-beta. It's not quite well supported. Well, actually it is because it's the same thing as Windows, but either way, I'd say wait until after it actually is released. Don't only boot into the pre-beta, or is it beta now? I don't even know. And so that is it, I think. Oh yeah, I just wanted to show you one more thing. Let's say that you were to dual boot and suddenly you decided that you wanted to use Windows 7 or Linux or whatever else you have as your default operating system and not Windows. Like right now I have Windows Vista as my default. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the control panel. I have it right down here. I'm not sure if it works in classic view. I like the control panel home, the new view, for some reason. I know a lot of people don't. Just type in I think it was advanced, yeah, right here. Advanced System Settings, it's under System. Just press on this, and it pops up with a new window that'll tell you all about it. For this, you want to go to the Advanced tab at the top, and go to Startup and Recovery, press Settings, and now you can choose the default operating system that you boot into, Windows Vista, Ubuntu, or I don't have Leopard installed. Okay, something happened to my 7, but for some reason it says that I have Mac installed even though I don't, to the best of my knowledge. So, yeah, right now you can choose a different operating system as the default one, which means that if you don't press anything, it'll open that up. And you can control how long it gives you to choose which operating system you want to open up, and a bunch of good stuff like that. And that is it. So this was a request from Nino3AZ. If you have any requests for reviews, tutorials, anything like that, feel free to email me at citus93@gmail.com, or just leave me a message on YouTube. I check it very frequently. And my nose is itchy. I mean, subscribe. Okay, my nose is itchy. It's kind of annoying. Okay, well, subscribe. Yeah, that's it. So, once again, this was a request from Nino3AZ, and I will see you next time. Citus out.